Controlling your own destiny. Do you feel like this is a must-win for this team when it comes to something different?
Absolutely not. It is not an ACC game. I'm glad you brought that up. It is not an ACC game. I gladly get beat 103 or 110 to 10 in that game. They can put 100 up on us as long as we win the next two after that. But again, our focus is on Notre Dame and getting as many wins as we can, one at a time.
You heard that right. Clown of the week. Clown of the year, possibly with that quote. You did not hear that incorrectly. That is the head coach of the Pitt Panthers. Yes, that is where game day is going this week as they play Notre Dame in a very, very interesting game for a lot of different reasons. But Pat Narduzzi is basically saying, no, this is not an ACC game, so it really doesn't matter. I would lose that game by 100 to 103 to 110 points as long as we win the next two. Now, I think that's just awful messaging just in general. How the hell are you going to sell it? How are you selling your game to an audience? It'll be the biggest audience that they've had probably ever.
Since the ACC championship with Kenny Pickett.
That's exactly right. So this is a team that will play. It's right after game day will be there, and that game kicks off at noon. So I mean, it'll 1 o'clock or 11 Central Time.
Yeah.
So it'll be game day will be your leading going into that game, and this is the messaging that you have. Even if you feel this way, I don't know how in the world you say this thing out loud.
I'm shocked, but at the same time, I'm also shocked that he still has his job. I thought that he would be fired immediately after the West Virginia loss this year, just blowing the game in the way that they did. Mm-hmm. It was kind of a mirror image of last year's game, but West Virginia blew that game.
Right.
I believe Pitt had a double-digit lead with 5 minutes left to go, and we've seen how, West Virginia's really started to turn it around here since the win over Houston, but at one point, West Virginia was, I believe, 1-6.
Wow.
1-6.
Wow.
And the one win was against Pitt.
Yeah.
Or no, they were 2-6.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I believe they're 4-6 now.
Right. One
because
win.
the Robert Morris and then the Pitt win.
Right.
And honestly, after that game, it was like, oh, here we go again for Pitt fans. And then they bench Eli Holstein, former Alabama guy.
Former Alabama quarterback. That's right. Yep.
Everyone. I mean, going into this year, the Pitt fans thought that Eli Holstein was going to be the next drafted quarterback, next great, right after Kenny Pickett.
Yeah.
And then they've turned to a freshman, I belive it Mason Heichel.
I
believe
don't know how to
is
pronounce
his
his name. I know who you're talking about.
But why would you come out and say this
ridiculous.
before one of the biggest games of the season? I don't care if it doesn't matter to you. This will help your resume. I mean, 100%. If you lose this game, who knows? If you win this game, you honestly could have a little bit of leeway losing to either, I believe they have Georgia Tech and Miami.
That's right, yeah.
I mean, if you lose this game, you beat Georgia, or if you win this game, you beat Georgia Tech, but lose to Miami, you could make the argument that they could sneak in. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, because then they'd be at 3 losses. But still, who knows what the ACC is going to look like? We've already seen it just completely implode, and then another loss would mean, you're at 3 losses, but you're a 3-loss ACC champion. Does that beat out 2 Group of 5 schools?
Exactly.
Does that beat out JMU?
Right. That's the biggest thing is that, like, he said that, and even those words don't make sense because they still can literally, like you said, win that football game and still get in, or lose that football game and not get in, even with all the ACC success. Like I don't get it. And to me, the biggest thing is the messaging for your team. What does that tell your team in the locker room when your head coach says, I don't care if we lose this game, by 100 points. It just seems to me to be very short-sighted if you're just looking at the ACC. And I could see if you're undefeated. I could see if they're undefeated with a key win on their resume. But this would be the biggest thing on their resume if they were to win this football game.
They have a loss to West Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a second. I will find that second loss. I believe it was Louisville.
Yeah.
It was Louisville.
Mm-hmm.
And then a loss to Notre Dame, which I don't know if Pat Narduzzi just hates the SEC or something. Because if Notre Dame were to lose this game, that would be huge for the SEC.
Monster.
Because then that means the SEC is all but guaranteed to get 5 teams in, barring some miracle. Texas loses both of the last game, both of the last
the Georgia game and
the Georgia game and the Texas A&M.
Yeah,
because at this point, Notre Dame is the only thing in the way between, because you can't make an argument for a second ACC team.
No,
especially after what is going on this year.
Right. Right.
And you can't really make an argument for a third Big 12 team. I mean, who are you going to put in there? You've got BYU and Texas Tech. That's pretty much a lock at this point.
Yep.
But who else are you going to put it? Houston's out.
Yes, they are.
I mean, Utah's out.
You're right.
Cincinnati is out.
Cincinnati's out.
Because they lost to Texas Tech.
Right.
They're out of it at this point.
I'm interested to see what the committee does with BYU tonight. It'll be really interesting to see. I mean, if they AP poll, they only dropped one spot, but I think if the college football playoff ranking comes out today, and they drop even more because of the lack of offensive production, I think it's going to be interesting.
And here's where it was 8 through 12. Texas Tech, one above Texas Tech was BYU. I believe Texas Tech will fall. If I were ranking this right now, I would say BYU is going to fall probably to 9. Oregon's going to move up to 8.
Okay. Texas
Tech up to 7. I still think Ole Miss is at 6.
Right.
Which I'd be interested. So let's play that real quick.
Yeah.
If you were making your bracket right now.
Yes.
Obviously, we don't have to seed the top 4 because we're agreement that it's going to be Alabama, it's going to be A&M, it's going to be Indiana, it's going to be Ohio State.
Yes.
That's point barring some miracle, like Alabama loses or A&M loses or something crazy. Who is your 5 seed?
As of right now, my 5 seed, if the playoffs started today, because that could change if something happens between the hedges. But as of right now, I like Georgia.
Yeah, it has to be.
Yeah. Now, if Georgia loses to Texas, though, now it shakes things up. But as today, as we sit here on 11-11, yeah, it'll be Georgia at 5. What about you?
I have to say Georgia at 5, unless something crazy happens this weekend, where then I would say they move down to 6, and Ole Miss jumps them. I still have Ole Miss at 6 over BYU.
Yes, me too.
And that's huge for Ole Miss because, as I mentioned yesterday, I would much rather play. We're basically assuming at this point the 6th seed is going to play the ACC or, by some miracle, a second group of 5
That's
team.
correct. Yes. And as it stands right now, it's I think Virginia.
I would much rather, if I was an Ole Miss fan, I would much rather host Virginia or the ACC champion, than be the 7th seed and face a Texas team that just barely squeaked in, is on a heater right now since the Florida game, which is where BYU would be at. BYU would host Texas, and let me tell you,
man,
that game's not even going to be close.
Oh no,
that game would not even be close.
Texas will just literally dog walk them.
Yeah, it wouldn't even be entertaining
in that football game. No, I'm right there with you. So then that means where do you put Oregon on that slate? Is Oregon? I guess are they top 8 seeds? Are they 5 through 8 where they get to host, or
Oregon's a 9?
And I mean in your personal.
Honestly,
bracket too.
in my opinion, I think Oregon's still a 9.
You like Oregon better than Texas Tech? I know Texas.
Texas Tech would host Texas, and that would be the game that wouldn't be close. Sorry, I was mistaken.
Yeah, I knew what you meant there. Yeah. But with a team that's out of the Big 12. There's a part to me, and I know Oregon lost. I feel like Oregon's only played one marquee game against Indiana, and they lost that game. I know they have played.
They squeaked by an Iowa team that no one had in the AP poll.
Yep.
Yet they were in the College Football Playoff Committee poll, ranked 20th. I mean, Kirk Herbstreit called it before the game. He almost called the exact score right. If you were listening, he said it was going to be a 16-15 final, and that's what it was before the field goal by Oregon.
Right. Wow. No, that is
he almost had it
on the money there. So he knew there won't be a lot of points, and I feel like Oregon's a weird team. I like their quarterback in the Moore kid, but it's a team that I don't necessarily completely believe in. But if let's just say they played, let's say Texas Tech played Texas. Let's say Oregon traveled to who would be maybe Notre Dame. Then I don't know. There's a part of me that still believes that Oregon still can be that team.
Yeah.
I have precious little evidence of that. Because, like you said, they barely beat Iowa. They lost to Indiana. That Penn State game now looks like trash. So, like, it to me, it doesn't seem to mesh with what my perception is of Oregon and the way they're actually playing on Saturday.
So here, and we're gonna loop this all the way back to what started this, the Notre Dame Pitt game. does a 10-2 Notre Dame make the college football playoff?
I think so. And if people want to say it's all a branding thing, I get that argument, and I agree. But they will have, I mean, not the best resume.
Right.
But they, if you're looking at Texas A&M, I mean, they played them to the final, basically the final whistle of that football game. I know Texas A&M won that game, and there's no such thing as moral victories, but they played them a lot closer than a lot of other good teams.
They played both of their losses to the final whistle.
That's right.
I think the one thing that would have saved Texas in this point, because 10-2 Notre Dame, they would presumably knock out Texas,
Correct.
who would either be at 10-2 or 9-3.
Mm-hmm.
I think the one thing that knocks Texas out is, had Florida beaten Miami, you could argue that was a stronger loss and would make the Notre Dame loss to Miami even worse.
Yeah.
I just don't see it at this point.
No.
Now, a 9-3 Notre Dame never makes the playoff.
No.
Ever.
No.
Never.
No. And even if they have a win over Ohio State or whoever the case is, I don't see that either. And this is where, obviously not playing in a conference will hurt them, because they'll leave a lot of discretion up to the committee going as they go forward. So the only thing they can do is win the rest of their games, because like you said, they're already treading on water with 2 losses so far this year. We got a chance to hear from Coach Marcus Freeman ahead of the big matchup, but not according to Pat Narduzzi.
And there's I can go down a list. Everything we do, the main focus maybe for you all might not be the main focus for us, right? You said slow starts. Again, that's a reflection of winning this play, right? And executing on this play and having a good game plan on this play. And so that's our focus. We got to have a great game plan. We got to continue to find ways to put our players in positions to succeed. Then we got to go to work that game plan. We got to struggle. We got to really prepare the right way, and then we got to go play. But there's no one part. Every part is important. Every single part of the preparation is important.
So this is a really big game here between these two teams, and we've talked about how a lot of these 2-loss teams are really treading water right now. They're walking a fine line. Notre Dame being one of them. They're a big favorite in this game. Last number I saw on it was 11.5. Who do you like here in this one?
Hey guys, if you stuck around since the beginning of the show, you might remember that I said I had one absolute free lock money.
Yeah.
Absolute free pick. I'm hammering 11.5 for Notre Dame just because of what Pat Narduzzi said, because he's already thrown in the white flag. He's thrown in the towel at this point.
Yep.
I think Notre Dame, we saw it last weekend against Navy. I believe the spread was 28 in that game, because we lost on that. I believe Navy lost by 38 or something like that.
Yes, yeah.
Man, Marcus Freeman's going to leave, no doubt.
Leave no question.
No doubt, especially I know he heard what Narduzzi said.
Oh, yeah.
And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Notre Dame was up like 52-7 or 56-7. And honestly, Marcus Freeman's still going for touchdowns.
Yeah.
Just to make a point.
Yeah.
Like, hey, don't say these things.
Right.
Because otherwise they'll happen. Now, if I was Pat Narduzzi and that actually happened, I would not get mad, because you can't get mad, because, I mean, you just said, oh, I don't really care if I lose 110-10 to Notre Dame. I mean, and then he also wants to say that Notre Dame Pitt's a rivalry.
Right, yeah. Yes.
Pat, how are we going to say Notre Dame Pitt is a rivalry when you just also at the same time said, I don't care if I get blown up by 100 to my rival?
Exactly. It literally makes no sense. It makes no sense on its surface for a bunch of different reasons, but chief among them is that even his rationale isn't logical. His rationale for this not being an ACC game, they still have goals that they can still achieve as in the ACC.
Do you think Brent Key
Right.
would want to get blown up by 100 to Kirby Smart's Georgia Bulldogs?
I mean, that's the thing. Yes. Yeah.
I mean, that in Pat Narduzzi's logic, that doesn't really matter at all anyways, as well.
Right.
He's not going to come on and say that. I guarantee you, when rivalry week comes here in a few weeks, I guarantee you he's not going to say something like that. Yeah, man, we want to beat those guys. We don't really like them, This is a big rivalry for us. We're not going to, we're going to leave no doubt. We're going to play to the final whistle. Can't say it's a rivalry, Pat, if you're fine losing by 100 to them.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's just my thought.
Now, you know what? You're dead on. And 11 seemed really high for this kind of game on paper.
Yeah.
But given the context, outside of it, if all their focus is going to be on the ACC, and if the team follows the coach, I can see a situation where Notre Dame gets up 2-3 scores and
Doesn't stop.
and then Pitt just says, we'll just take the break. We'll just, we will not play here because, we got next week to look forward to.
What a waste
Yeah, I know.
of a game day host site. When you could have gone between the hedges.
Yeah, I know.
For a huge matchup that also has college
monster
football playoff implications.
A monster one. I wish the producers could change it up on a Tuesday and go to a different place because knowing what's going to happen here in this matchup.
Yeah, are all the AC or all the SEC haters of game day just going to SEC schools mad now?
Exactly.
Like,
that would be
I
the
don't
issue.
know.
The last few games from Notre Dame on the road, they played Arkansas, of course, blew them out 56-13. Then they played at Boston College a couple weeks ago, won that game 25-11.
I believe that the Boston College Stadium was 80% Notre Dame fans,
That's
20%
right.
BC fans.
That's right. And I'm interested to see the spread as far as the amount of Pitt fans as compared to the amount of Notre Dame fans. I still expect it to be about the same normal crowd as far as heavier Pitt, but they
have a hard time filling out Acrisure Stadium. They got to build their own stadium, man.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Like, get them out of a professional stadium. Get Miami out of Hard Rock.
Right.
I mean, what are we doing?
Yeah,
Come on, this is college football.
And even if it's something more quaint, like a 30, 40, thousand seat stadium, they don't need anything gaudy.
No.
They just need something kind of quaint that makes it their own.
I'm pretty sure I just heard coming out recently that the UCLA is going to go to SoFi Stadium now after the Rose Bowl.
Oh,
They're
really?
leaving the Rose Bowl.
Okay, wow, that's interesting. And I'm with you. I like on-campus stadiums, especially for college teams. I just think you have to
have it.
You have to have it to be able to have that on-campus.
It's what makes college football.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
Save the NFL stadiums for the bowl games or something like that, or the college football playoff.
Right.
Then I can sort of see it.
Yeah.
For important games, not
Right.
just I play at Acrisure Stadium. That's wrong.
Exactly. It'll be really interesting to see how this all shakes out here in and around college football. It's a big rivalry week here. Rivalry according to some, not according. According to Pat Narduzzi, is a rivalry game, but he doesn't care if they lose by 100 points in that one. And you had Patrick's lock. Go get that free money.